In a small town in Montana, there lies a monster of legend that has never before been captured in a documentary expedition until now. This is The Hunt for the Flathead Lake Monster, a documentary following the journey of Joshua Hubbard, a lifelong resident of the Flathead Valley, as he seeks to capture proof of a legendary freshwater lake monster, known to locals as the Flathead Lake Monster. You can see locals' homage to the lake monster in small lakefront towns like Big Fork, where a local burger restaurant called Burger Town serves what they call the Flathead Lake Monster Burger, a double cheeseburger with 1,000 island sauce. And Flathead Lake, handcrafted gourmet soda featuring a freshwater, serpent-like monster. And let's go on, the hunt for the Flathead Lake Monster. Flathead Lake is a large natural lake in northwest Montana, United States. The lake is a remnant of the ancient, massive glacial dammed lake, Lake Missoula of the era of the last interglacial. 4. Flathead Lake is a natural lake along the main line of the Flathead River. Once known as Salish Lake, this body of water was named for the Salish Indians. Early European explorers, like David Thompson, called them the Flathead Indians because of a misinterpretation of early Native American Sign Language. A common misconception is that the name is derived from a practice of head flattening more common among tribes such as the Chinook. There is no evidence to show that the Salish ever had this custom. In 1855, the United States, U.S., made the Treaty of Hellgate, by which it set aside the Flathead Reservation solely for use of the Flathead, encompassing an area including much of Flathead Lake. It was dammed in 1930 by Kerr Dam at its outlet on Polson Bay, slightly raising the lake level. The dam generates electricity. 5. The hydroelectric has been owned and operated by the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes since 2015. It is one of the cleanest lakes in the populated world for its size and type. Flathead Lake has a maximum depth of 370.7 feet, 113.0 meters, and an average of 164.7 feet, 50.2 meters. This makes Flathead Lake deeper than the average depths of the Yellow Sea or the Persian Gulf. The lake is inhabited by the native bull trout and cutthroat trout, as well as the non-native lake trout, yellow perch, and lake whitefish. Local residents have reported sighting other aquatic fauna in the lake as well, such as sturgeon and the Flathead Lake Monster located on the shores of Flathead and Lake counties in northwest Montana. This lake is known for two things: crystal clear water that you can see the bottom of the lake 100 feet below you, and the Flathead Lake Monster. The story of a monster in Flathead Lake originates in a Kootenai traditional legend. According to the story, long ago, the first native tribe in the area lived on an island in the middle of the lake. One winter, while crossing the frozen lake to move camp, two girls saw antlers approximately 2 feet in length protruding through the frozen ice. Thinking the antlers belonged to some animal, the girls decided to chop them off and take them. They used sharp-edged rocks to cut through the ice when the antlers suddenly started shaking. The ice around them split open, and the head of a monster appeared through the ice, shaking its giant antlers. The girls used their special powers to transform into a ball and a buckskin target to escape the monster, but half of the tribe drowned in the lake, which is said to be the reason why there are so few Kootenai people. The narrative holds that the Kootenai never strayed far from the lakeshore after that, and white settlers later reported occasionally seeing the monster. Sullivan's Hill near Elmo was originally known as the monster's backbone. According to the tribal story, the monster lived in what they called Monster Lake and was sometimes treated to huckleberries by a bird. The bird's husband became jealous and killed the lake monster, which now lies forever in the form of Sullivan's Hill. Some say you can even see red patches along the hillside, remnants of the monster's blood. According to retired newspaper editor Paul Fugelberg, local tales of the Flathead Lake Monster go back more than 100 years. It was supposedly first reported in 1889 by Captain James C. Kerr of the Lake Steamboat, the U.S. Grant, who claimed he and his 100 passengers saw an unusually large whale-like object in the water. According to the story, one of the passengers on the steamer shot at the creature and sent it diving for safety. Fugelberg notes that local residents have named the purported lake monster Flathead, inspired by Loch Ness, Nessie. Contemporary reports of sightings of Flathead by local residents and visitors average between 1 and 2 each year. However, In 1993 alone, there were about 13 reports. The monster is usually described as a large eel-shaped creature, round with a wavy body like a snake, 20 to 40 feet long.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Having brownish to blue-black skin and grayish-black eyes. It has often been described as looking like a whale or a giant sturgeon. According to Fugelberg, when I was editor of the Flathead Courier at Polson, author Dorothy M. Johnson, then secretary of the Montana Press Association, advised me not to treat sighting reports lightly in newspaper and magazine articles. She said, "I don't think the monster should be done with tongue-in-cheek. You have eyewitness accounts by people who were scared and didn't think it was funny." One local story that received much publicity described how a 3-year-old boy apparently fell into the lake and when asked how he had extracted himself, told his mother, "The Flathead monster lifted me up." Fugelberg wrote that claimed sightings of the monster have been blamed on hyperactive imaginations, playful pranks, natural phenomena such as wave action, shadows, lighting effects, logs, and a number of animals, including bears, horses, deer, elk, dogs, a dead monkey, a loose circus seal, and even an escaped buffalo. In the 1950s, a significant cash reward was offered by Big Fish Unlimited to anyone who could catch what was termed the superfish of Flathead Lake. A man named C. Leslie Griffith was reported to have caught a 7-foot, 6-inch, 181-pound, 1-ounce white sturgeon, now displayed at the Polson Flathead Historical Museum. Locals of the area believe the Flathead Lake monster to be a plesiosaur left over from glacial Lake Missoula. The plesiosauria or plesiosaurs are an order or clade of extinct Mesozoic marine reptiles belonging to the Sauropterygia. Plesiosaurs first appeared in the latest Triassic period, possibly in the Rhaetian stage. About 203 million years ago, the largest plesiosaur ever to swim in the oceans was Lioplorodon, with a length of up to 25 meters, 82 feet. Lioplorodon was a carnivore, with a short neck, a head 3 meters, 10 feet, long, and 4 powerful flippers. Glacial Lake Missoula was a prehistoric proglacial lake in western Montana that existed periodically at the end of the last ice age between 15,000 and 13,000 years ago. The lake measured about 7,770 square kilometers, 3,000 square miles, and contained about 2,100 cubic kilometers, 500 cubic miles, of water, half the volume of Lake Michigan. 1. The Glacial Lake Missoula National Natural Landmark is located about 110 kilometers, 68 miles, northwest of Missoula, Montana, at the north end of the Camas Prairie Valley, just east of Montana Highway 382 and McFarland Ranch. It was designated as a National Natural Landmark in 1966 because it contains the Great Ripples, often measuring 25 to 50 feet, 7.6 to 15.2 meters, high and 300 feet, 91 meters, long, that served as a strong supporting element for J. Harlan Bretz's contention that Washington state's channeled scablands were formed by repeated cataclysmic floods over only about 2,000 years, rather than through the millions of years of erosion that had been previously assumed. The lake was the result of an ice dam on the Clark Fork caused by the southern encroachment of a finger of the Cordilleran ice sheet into the Idaho Panhandle, at the present-day location of Clark Fork, Idaho, at the east end of Lake Pandorile. The height of the ice dam typically approached 610 meters, 2,000 feet, flooding the valleys of western Montana approximately 320 kilometers, 200 miles, eastward. It was the largest ice-dammed lake known to have occurred. 4. The periodic rupturing of the ice dam resulted in the Missoula floods, cataclysmic floods that swept across eastern Washington and down the Columbia River Gorge approximately 40 times during a 2,000-year period. And the Flathead Lake is the largest freshwater lake left over at the basin of what would have been Glacial Lake Missoula. What could lie in this 197-square-mile freshwater lake left over from Glacial Lake Missoula when the lake had a maximum depth of 2,100 feet? The Clark Fork's drainage is a network of valleys among high mountain ranges. Lake Missoula formed through this region of western Montana. It is named for the city of Missoula in the upper reaches of the Clark Fork watershed. The mountains surrounding the city show the strand lines from the lake nearly 20,000 years ago. 8. At its largest extent, Lake Missoula's depth exceeded 2,000 feet, 610 meters, and may have held 600 cubic miles, 2,500 kilometers 3, of water, as much as Lake Erie and Lake Ontario combined. The surface area covered 3,000 square miles, 7,770 kilometers 2, and the shoreline attained an elevation of 4,200 feet, 1,300 meters. The lake spread through the Clark Fork River Basin, reaching east of Missoula, 259 miles, 417 kilometers, to Gold Creek, northeast up the Blackfoot River, 270 miles, 430 kilometers, to Lake Alva, 253 miles, 407 kilometers, and east of Ovando, 270 miles, 430 kilometers. Two large lobes formed to the south and north. To the south, the Bitterroot Valley filled as far as Sula, Montana, 286 miles, 460 kilometers. To the north, the Flathead River Basin became an expansive body of water, creating an island of Red Sleep Mountain in the CSKT Bison Range and extending north 286 miles, 460 kilometers, to Polson at the basin of the Flathead Ice Lobe and 286 miles, 460 kilometers, up the Little Bitterroot River to Niarata, some 132 miles, 212 kilometers, above the Flathead River's mouth at the Clark's Fork.
They came running back up, and we got the binoculars, and I found my camera, and I only got a couple of shots off of, well, there was a wake in the water, and then I saw this, like a black form, and kind of on the end, I never saw the head, but the end of it, there were 5 shark-like fins. And Laura's friend that was here, he said, get me a paper and pencil, because if I don't draw it, I'll forget what it looked like. So he drew this, it almost, well, it was exactly what I saw, but it was, it didn't look like a fish. It almost looked like, I don't know.
Like snake-like or like a dinosaur?
No, yeah, but he drew it kind of flat with this big tail with fins on it. All I saw were the fins. And so I wanted to run down to the dock with my zoom lens and lie down on the dock and just get a head-on picture of it. But by the time I mean, you never know what you're going to do in an instance like this, but by the time I found my lens, it was just slowly moving, maybe 10, 15 miles an hour. Just, I mean, it was like, I'm here, get my picture, I've got to go up the lake.
There was a sighting 15 miles away within 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But you're saying he moved so slow, or she moved so slow that...
Well, at least when we were watching it, it could move a whole lot faster, but when we were going, it was like what you and I would call a slow stroll.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it was moving so slow, it was barely actually perceptible, but then you could see like 3 humps instead of 2. And you could see that it was moving slowly, but directly due north toward Wild Horse Island. So, and
you were on a pontoon boat, or what kind of boat were you on?
yeah, we were on a pontoon boat, and we were just out in the middle of the bay, and we had anchored off, and we were just swimming off the boat, but there was a strong enough current going this way toward the mountains that we had to hang on to the ropes, because otherwise you drift away and have to swim back to the boat. So that's how we knew it was a pretty strong current.
Yeah.
And we were just out there hanging onto the ropes.
In the water.
In the water, but then we got back on the boat and started to go, and accidentally I had kicked one of these or kneed one of these, and so I'd left a light on. So our battery was dead. So that's why we were just sitting out there waiting for my daughter to come with her boat. And we were both about half asleep, but we weren't drinking or smoking funny tobacco or anything. And we were just kind of sitting there dazed, and that's when we heard this loud splashing. And that's the part that nobody can explain to me. If it was just an optical illusion, how do you explain the loud splashing?
Yeah.
But you know, we were in 40 feet of water about there. And afterwards, it was a little eerie thinking that that thing might have swam right underneath us when we were out there just hanging on the rope. But like I say, there's never been if there is something here, I think that it's shy and it avoids people in boats to the extent it can. I'm an attorney. I've been a country lawyer in this little town of Polson for 33 years, which is on Flathead Lake.
I'd heard there had been sightings, but I didn't really pay any attention to it.
I think I was a skeptic, although there wasn't really any explanation, too, for some of the sightings. So I didn't know.
That skepticism would be tested one summer afternoon out on the lake.
After work, we were out there. It was a calm day. There was a light breeze, but no waves. It was a beautiful day, and there were no other boats on the whole bay.
We tried to start the boat up and the battery was dead. It's a helpless feeling being out in the middle of the water like that.
We called my daughter, who she and her husband had a boat.
While we were waiting for them to come to rescue us, we were just laying on the boat, kind of relaxing, and there were no other boats out there. There were no people there, but we heard slapping on the water, loud slapping. Not like someone diving in, but something heavy slapping the water.
It was like, like that, and it was close enough that I could tell it was close.
We froze and we just stared and watched.
Look at it.
The first feeling I had seeing it was just shock. I knew I was seeing it, but it's so unbelievable to think about it.
As we're watching, this thing starts moving, and it was moving super slow, and we could see humps out of the water.
It was like a serpent. Didn't see a head, just the body.
What we saw was probably as long as our boat, which was 24 feet, and that's kind of freaky, that you have something out there that might be twice as big as your boat swimming below you. As we were watching it, beyond it, here came our daughter. She and her husband, they're coming directly toward us in their boat. And I was going like this, trying to get them to look at it, and they thought I was waving, and they were just waving like this. And as they came on toward it, it just slowly slipped down in the water and disappeared.
Will you please take this seriously? Just do your job. He is the expert on this monster.
There have been 97 sightings in the past 100 years.
Some people say it's just a big sturgeon.
Have you ever seen a sturgeon eat an elk?
It eats elk? So do you have a special call for this monster?
Joshua Hubbard here. We are in the Big Fork Bay. Wayfarers boat launch here. Looking for the Flathead Lake Monster. we'll be using a Go Fish camera attached to ice fishing rod with a 100-pound test line. And here's just a look at where we are right now. We'll take a quick peek under the water. There we go. We got the camera going. There's the camera. Just gonna put it over the edge. How about it? Okay. Nice. Seagull. Anyways. He's slowing down. Let's take a look and see what is underneath the surface.
I've decided to catch the Flathead Lake monster. First, I need to learn to catch monsters. And so I have decided to practice fishing in a virtual reality game called Real VR Fishing on MetaQuest 3. I've booked a fishing charter in San Diego, California, aboard New Loan, fishing for bluefin tuna, a large predator saltwater fish. Although Santa Monica Pier is closer to the location I will be fishing, I have found I prefer Big Sur Coast for its boat fishing. The objective of the game is to learn and practice countering the actions of the fish, keeping the hook set, the slack out of the line, and not breaking the line. At first, I played on normal difficulty, but then I quickly moved to hard. My goals are to catch a yellowfin tuna in the game, as it's the closest thing to the bluefin tuna I will be fishing, and completely level up to 20 in the West Coast DLC. At first I had caught a couple of sharks but hadn't seen any tuna. Changed at level 17, I started to catch yellowfin tuna back to back. Now I have caught 10 yellowfin tuna and a handful of sharks, and I have also managed to completely level up to 20 in the West Coast DLC. I am as ready as I am ever going to be for this fishing charter in San Diego, California. I'm flying to San Diego, California, where I have booked a fishing charter off Point Loma Sport Fishing aboard New Loan, fishing for bluefin tuna.
And we're off. It's gonna be about midnight when we get to our destination, unless we find some fish on the way. For night fishing off New Loan. Somebody just caught a fish. Forget what it was. Backlash going.
A small fish.
Oh yeah, definitely got bit. Here's the first yellowtail for the morning. It's kind of a lively one. Oh boy, we got a runner.
What number are you?
17, so you were 16 then. We're getting ready to fillet the fish. Got a bunch of rock cod down there. Whole back of the deck is lined with yellowfin. All the way up to here. Excuse me, guys.
Although we didn't catch any tuna, we did catch bonito, rockfish, lingcod, sheephead, ocean whitefish, and lots of yellowtail.
All right, my name is Nick Colavecchio. I'm the captain of this boat. This is Sea Bear, and I own and operate and run Big Sky Sails, custom charters and tours. And I am on this lake more than most people, probably 3, 4, 5 days a week from May to September, sometimes October. But yeah, that's what I do, and I love it. I love this boat. I love this lake. Pile them in.
That's a pretty nice boat.
Thanks,
so
buddy.
Is this the one that you saw the lake monster on?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I did notice it was a sailboat.
Yep. So I bought this boat to basically be able to run this business where I work on a construction crew Monday through Friday, and then I do nights and weekends chartering people around.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it was kind of just like a shoot from the hip, like whatever, I'll just take out a business loan, buy a boat, and see if I can justify it.
Yeah.
Making sense, you know? And it started out slow, and there's been like a long learning curve and whatnot, but I learn every day, dude. And I got like 35 charters booked already this year.
Yep.
For sure. This is Sea Bear.
Sea Bear,
Came
okay.
from Puget Sound in Seattle.
Okay.
Good boat, dude. It's a really good boat. It's 1984, so she's a little old. That's a 72.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like the older boats?
I guess. I mean, it's just the price point. The price point's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with boats especially, I guess.
Fuck, man. I mean, some of the boats in that marina are like $100, $150, $200,000 machines. You know?
Yeah.
This is not even close. It's cheaper than a new truck.
Wow, that really opens up down there, doesn't it?
Dude. So, the guy I bought this from, he was a school teacher. His wife was a school teacher, based out of Seattle. So school teachers, of course, get summers off paid. So they would just take their kids, load them in the boat when they all were off work, and then just go sail the Alaskan islands from Seattle. Like, what a fucking cool wood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So downstairs, I'll give you the tour.
Oh,
dude.
I'm gonna drop my backpack off here.
Yeah, so you got your full kitchen.
Wow, this is actually big in here.
Yeah, it's sick, dude. Like, you could live off this thing. I mean, people do, you know, in the Caribbean or wherever, you know. They're just like, this is their house. And you got full fridge, 2-burner stove, oven. We've cooked a bunch of DiGiorno pizzas in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then you got your, like, little dining area. These things flip up. So you have, like, a full-on dining room table. We've had like poker nights out here too. It's super fun. This is like the master bedroom. So like 2 people fit in here pretty well.
Okay,
know?
yeah.
Like your feet just go up that way, and then you have so much space.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You got a bathroom. This thing is actually a shower head. There's a drain down there.
Yeah, so the wet head or whatever they call it.
Exactly. So you can actually shower in this thing. I don't have it set up just because it's a charter boat, you know, like we're not doing showers out here. We're in fresh water too, so it's like.
What is your charter called?
Big Sky Sails.
Big Sky
I'll
Sails.
give you a couple brochures if you want them.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So then you kind of have your like, this is the navigation station. So this boat was it's an 84, so like that was before GPS. So like this is where you put your charts.
Okay.
And when you're on anchor at night, you sit right there. Radar, stereo for the CB. That one's kind of fun. It's always set on the Weather Channel too. if it works. Oh, VHS.
Near Flathead Lake, get out of the water and move indoors or inside a vehicle.
There you go.
Good timing,
I
huh?
love that. That was perfect.
Thunderstorm. If you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. Move to safety.
There you go.
Good timing,
I
huh?
love that. That was perfect.
Thunderstorm. If you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. Move.
So, yeah, on this map, did you want to show me where
Yeah.
were you when you seen?
For sure. So, let's see. Where's Dayton Yacht Harbor? Right there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So this boat, it lives in Dayton Yacht Harbor all winter long. It's on the hard, so it's on jack stands on grass all winter, right?
Okay.
So they launch me in the spring. They launch me like June 1st or Memorial Day weekend or whatever it is. And then what I have to do when it gets launched, since I'm not a member, I don't have a slip down there. I only have like a couple day grace period from when it's in the water to when I have to get it up here to where I anchor it. And I anchor it up here because easy boat launch, plenty of parking close to my house, right?
Okay, yeah.
And we're protected in this bay with the islands. So this from Dayton around Wild Horse and up the lake, that ends up being like a 30-mile sail, which could take, based on the wind, anywhere from like 6 to 10 hours. I've done it probably 12 or 15 times by now in this boat. So what happened was 2 years ago when the lake was super low.
Okay, yeah.
I had my boat up here. It was midsummer. It was probably middle July, early August. I don't really remember. Actually, the video I sent you would probably have a timestamp on it.
Yeah.
But so they called me. Dayton Yacht Harbor called me and they were like, "Hey man, lake is super fucking low. You need to get your boat down here and see if it actually fits in the loading slip, because if it doesn't fit in the loading slip down here, you're gonna have to call Harmon Crane or somebody else to get your boat out. Like if it doesn't fit in the slip, you're gonna have to get it out on your own, pretty much." And I was like, fuck. So I just kind of panicked and had to get the boat from here all the way down to here. And in order to do that, I need to have somebody to like shuttle a car. So like when I'm down there, I can have a car staged or something to get back to my car up here or whatever. So I go all the way down there, and turns out it fits in the loading slip just fine, and it was good to go. And they're like, "Cool, you're fine, you fit, so like you're good. Get out of here." So then it was like, cool, sleep on the boat, and then I had to sail it back up here. And when I did that is when it happened. So I was solo on the boat, all by myself, and came around south end of Wild Horse, started coming up north, and like right around here is when it got weird. Like skies got dark, Thunderhead came up over the hills over Rawlins and was moving this way. I had the sails up, and my sails were doing spooky shit too. They were like, I don't know, when you have your sails set to the wind, they usually operate a certain way, and the wind was switching all over the place. So I was like constantly fucking with the sails because the shit just kept moving around. And then it was like the perfect scenario for it too, because it was like dark and gross and like kind of like raining sideways and shit. So like the water was that like gray black color too. And I'm over here and I don't see any boats at all. I'm probably like on par with where Goose Island's at, but like out here, not quite in the middle of the lake, maybe like a third of the way east. And I didn't see another boat the entire day because the weather was shit. Sky gets black, wind starts doing goofy shit, and then my head sail, the jib sail, just started luffing super fucking hard. And so I'm trying to reel that thing in. I'm just like, all right, the wind's doing dumb shit. The wind was picking up because the Thunderhead was fucking with it too. So I'm just like trying to crank that sail in, and then all of the lines got snagged on everything on deck. So I had to like go up there and like unsnag all the lines, and I'm just trying to get it. And then at that exact time is when I saw a fucking wake, like a wake boat, like a wave, just cruising through, like right across my bow. And you can see it in the video. I like zoomed in on it.
Okay,
and,
yeah, we can show that right here.
Yeah. And like, I just don't know what else it could be. There wasn't a boat within 20 miles of me. There's nobody on the water. And there was just a clear-cut wake. in front of me, and like wake big enough to like affect the boat. Like you'd feel it like fucking and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, I don't know how to explain that, but like I believe, especially because like, I don't know, man. We made that parallel with like Sasquatch and Flathead Lake Monster too. And like, if you research Sasquatch sightings, anybody who's seen it, they say like their camera batteries die, shit goes weird, there's no cell service all of a sudden, like shit's weird, like the birds don't make noise anymore. And like it kind of felt like that because like shit was getting weird and my sails started doing weird stuff, and it was like kind of like panic mode, like get the sails in and figure it out. And then I just see this thing just cruising around, and I never saw an actual creature, but there was something close enough to the surface moving at a speed probably like 10 miles an hour, like fast enough to create a wake that I could see, and I don't know how to explain that. And I've been boating on this lake
fast enough and large enough, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and I've been boating on this lake for almost 10 years, and I'm out here more than most people with the charters and stuff, and I've never... Usually if there's a wave in the water, there's an explanation for it, right? There's either a boat or something, anything, but yeah, I can't explain that. So, but yeah, that's where it happened. And then I just don't really know, I don't know how to explain it. I saw what I saw, and I'm glad I had my phone and I was able to take a video of it. But I've seen some weird stuff also under this.
What do you think it could have been? As far as the monster, what kind of... Do you think it's a fish? Do you think it's a...
The only... Okay.
Some people think it could be a sturgeon, maybe?
Yeah, so I have two lines of thought.
Yeah.
Line one is like, oh, do I trust science?
Yeah.
And if I were a guy that trusted science...
Yeah.
I would think it's just some ancient sturgeon, because those things can get up to like, what, 15, 20 feet?
Supposedly.
Yeah. I don't know how it would get all the way up here, especially because there's that dam down in Polson.
Yeah, of course.
But who knows? Maybe it's just been down here and thriving for so many years that it's just like grandfathered. I have no idea. So that's like traditional level of thought. And level of thought option B is like it's something that we don't know.
Yeah.
What it is. But I think most people think it's a sturgeon, which makes sense because it's like, oh, as humans, we're always looking for explanations for things, and most things that we see have been identified or discovered, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Part of me thinks like maybe it hasn't been identified or discovered. Maybe it's something we don't even know. So,
yeah, things are being discovered all the time.
Yeah.
And Flathead Lake has hardly even been explored, you know?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I do have a model here I could show you here.
Oh, sick.
So I do have this model here.
Yes, dude.
What do you think of this? Is this possibly what you saw?
I don't know. I can't say yes or no. I didn't see anything other than the wake that it created. So
yeah. This is a plesiosaur, and this is what some people believe it could be.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love this. I hope it's that.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
I hope it's that.
You know, theories are maybe left over from Glacial Lake Missoula back long time ago. This is sort of the basin of what used to be Glacial Lake Missoula.
Yeah, the high water line used to be like
just
top,
the mountain
top of the swamps.
Here, yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's interesting to think of what, you know, could be left over from back then. So
I hope it's this.
His
tail doesn't seem as long as it should be, though.
Yeah, there were different variations of this, plesiosaur. Yeah,
plesiosaur.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some of the pike in this lake, and they're pretty nasty looking. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like this in there. But
yeah, for sure.
Another thing too, like, I don't know if you appreciate my my parallels to Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but like,
no, I think that's great.
I feel like it makes sense because like it's this weird thing that nobody can explain, nobody has discovered it, and there seems to be this knack of like, when people see it, like all of the Bigfoot footage is grainy and subpar, right?
Exactly.
And it's like a lot of Bigfoot like researchers and fanatics will say like, okay, well, Bigfoot's like interdimensional, being that can like scramble that type of shit, where like your camera's not going to work the way it should, and your phone's not going to work the way it should, and your battery's going to die because like they know, and they're like professionals at not being discovered or not being found or not being caught on videotape. And then maybe what I think is that if this is something that is like supernatural or just not of this earth or not something that science has discovered, maybe if it's on the same wavelength as Bigfoot, it does the same thing where it's like, oh, I'm here lurking around, but nobody's gonna get a picture of me because I know when cameras are out, I know when people are looking for me, and maybe that's why it hasn't been found.
That does make sense, yeah. Yeah, if it's, you know, boat shy, people shy maybe, or even just intelligent maybe.
Maybe that's what I think.
You know, or like you say, there could be some paranormal connection that protects it somehow. It's interesting, like you say, that things happen, just natural things happen, right? Natural phenomena will happen that protects it in ways, and it's very interesting.
I love it though.
Yeah.
I love believing, like, you gotta believe. Like, why not? Why wouldn't there be something like this in there?
Yeah, exactly.
I give it a 10. Send it. Yes. Attaboy.
If you're seeking one last summer adventure, here's something to consider. Flathead Lake has become a hidden gem for scuba diving enthusiasts. Our MTN's James Rowland takes us beneath the water's surface for a diving experience unlike any other.
I'm here at Flathead Lake, where I'm going to take you on an adventure beneath the water to see what lives below.
Flathead Lake, known for its crystal clear water and surrounding cherry orchards, has become a hidden gem for scuba diving enthusiasts. And while it may not be as famous as tropical dive sites, it offers an experience unlike any other. With depths reaching over 300 feet, this makes Flathead Lake deeper than the average depths of the Yellow Sea or the Persian Gulf, and visibility in excess of 100 feet. Scuba divers here get a rare chance to explore natural beauty of rocks and some lake fish. This Big Sky Lake is one of the cleanest in the world for its type and size.
Montana has lots of very, very clean, clear lakes, especially in the Flathead here. You'll see perch, bass, rainbows, some lake trout, or northern pike, but very glacier-like lakes, so there's not a lot of vegetation.
The unique underwater landscape includes boulder fields, sunken logs, and even remnants of early logging operations. While the water is cold, typically in the 50s or 60s during the summer, the clear visibility and calm conditions make it a diver's paradise. When we went diving at Flathead, we hit two locations. First, the Flathead Lake State Park West Shore Unit. Across from there is Goose Island, a glacial rock outcropping with hundreds of fish and amazing underwater boulders to explore. Across the lake in Blue Bay, stunning clear waters hide what many people don't know are there. There's several sunken boats right on the floor, specifically placed there to help provide housing for fish and a place for divers to explore. While the surface temperature of the water is quite a bit warmer, when you hit the thermoclines, it easily gets down into the 50-degree range. Despite the depth, the clear water allowed a lot of light to still come through. There's many places that we didn't explore though, including Somers Bay, which is known for a sunken ship and the old Somers Mill fire, much of which ended up underwater. Oddly enough, as the seasons progress, diving doesn't stop. While you obviously need a pretty thick wetsuit to make this work, it is an amazing experience and one that can only be found in Montana.
In Kalispell, I'm James Rowland, MTN News.
In a small town in Montana, there lies a monster of legend that has never before been captured in a documentary expedition until now. This is The Hunt for the Flathead Lake Monster, a documentary following the journey of Joshua Hubbard, a lifelong resident of the Flathead Valley, as he seeks to capture proof of a legendary freshwater lake monster, known to locals as the Flathead Lake Monster.